This is the Panasonic Lumix DMC-LX100, a compact camera with a micro four third or four third sensor with 16 megapixel. But not the whole 16 megapixel are used for the photography, because we have the multi-format switch here on top of the camera, like we had also in the former model, the LX7. We can change between the settings 4:3, 1:1, 16:9 and 3:2. So these are the different settings where the camera uses a maximum of about 12.5 megapixel. That's the maximum the camera takes from the 16 megapixel sensor micro four third. At the side we have the switch to change between the different focus settings: autofocus, macro setting and manual focus. We have the aperture here. We can change from 1.7 up to 16, and it's a zoom lens which goes from 24 millimeter up to 75 millimeter focal length. When we look on top of the camera, we don't have a program dial, and yes, the camera doesn't have any programs like scene programs. We only have the setting for P program mode, and we can select the aperture or the shutter speed. If we want the program mode, we set both to A. If we want to set the aperture, we only change the dial here and set the aperture. If we want to set the shutter speed, just turn the dial, set the shutter speed, and that's it. At the right side on the top of the camera, we have the correction dial, where we can change the correction between plus and -3. One important point, or two important points beside the bigger sensor, the micro four third sensor, that's the electronic viewfinder. The former model, the LX7, doesn't have a viewfinder. We have to put the viewfinder extra on top of the camera, an optical or electronic viewfinder. At the LX100 now we have the electronic viewfinder, and yes, it's a very good high class viewfinder with over 2.4 million dots. It's a very clear, crisp picture, very sharp and detailed. So I like the viewfinder very much. And it's a real nice and sharp viewfinder at this camera. The control monitor is fixed, and it's not a touchscreen. Usually Panasonic works with a touchscreen, but no, the monitor of the LX100 is no touchscreen. So there's one very important point at the LX100, and that's the video function. And if we go to the video function, we go in the menu to the video function here, you will see we have the rec format AVC HD and MP4. I change now to the MP4 format, and when we go to the rec quality, we can change here not only for full HD 50p, but we can go up, and there we have the 4K option. Yes, the LX100 has 4K movie, 3840 by 2160 pixel, 24p or 25p you can change, and the data rate is 100 megabits per second. So that's the nice feature of the LX100 4K movie or 4K video, but you also can go down to the normal full HD movie 1920 by 1080 with 50p, and there you can also set it in AVC HD. Okay, here we're in AVC HD 1920 by 1080 and up to 50p. Okay, so this is the 4K mode and the full HD mode of the LX100. One thing, at the side of the camera we have the USB and the HDMI output, and unfortunately Panasonic didn't have a live HDMI output, so you can't put an external monitor or a cinemizer at the LX100 to check the picture on an external monitor. You only can do this with the internal monitor, so this one or the electronic viewfinder. There's unfortunately no option to go for an external monitor. As I said before, we have no programs, no scene programs at the camera, but we have the filter here. So if we press the filter button, you have different filter settings here. You can change between different filter settings, and you can individualize this filter settings also, which I show in my complete review of the camera. What else do we have? We go to the quick menu. We have the quick menu option where you can make the different settings, or the most important settings, very easy. Here's also a new AF mode which we have, which I showed in the FZ1000 before. Menus are very easy to understand. If you know, the Panasonic menus are exactly the same. We have the different settings here. One point I should mention, we have two shutter types. We have the mechanical shutter and we have also the electronical shutter. So that's the difference. And one important point you see here, we have the panorama direction, and yes, we don't have a dial to go into the panorama functions, but we have the settings in the drive mode, and here in the drive mode we don't have only the different burst mode, auto bracketing, aspect bracketing, or the self timer, and we have also the panorama shoot. So that's the Panasonic Lumix DMC-LX100 with a Micro Four Thirds sensor, 16 megapixel electronic viewfinder, and the option for 4K movie.